Speaking of movies, I want to ask all of you guys, if you guys haven't gone to the theaters like you, what is the worst movie you guys have seen all year? I'll leave it up to you to answer.
Well, I've only
did
had
my list
24
on my
hours
live
this
stream
year.
yesterday, so yeah, I could tell
Not
you.
even 24 hours to see everything this year.
Stormcrow, you asked the
2023.
exact opposite question I was planning to ask tonight. I was going to ask what was everybody's favorite thing they saw or read or whatever this year.
Honestly, oh, go for it.
The worst film of the year is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I hate that movie with all
It
my
cannot possibly be worse than the Marvels.
I was
It is.
surprised how
I will
intense that you hated. I figured you didn't like it, but for it to be number one.
Okay, let me just like the Marvels is I consider the technically worst executed film of the year. Like, just if you were a film student and it was about how do you edit, how do you put a film together, etc. It's like, yeah, that film is a study in how not to do it. But the reason I hate Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is because it's so much more than that. It is the overindulgence in CGI and volume. The concept is so insanely stupid. I can't stand it. Like, the original concept of the quantum realm was interesting. It was science fiction. It was Lovecraftian. That movie is an excuse to do a nonsensical Star Wars imitation, but a really bad one. And it's just
more nonsensical than a planet of people who can sing in English but not speak it.
Look, Marvels is number 4 worst movie of the year on my list.
Number 4? What?
Yeah, because Indiana Jones was number 3.
I agree with that one.
Number 2 was Barbie for me because it was just so depressing. So
Barbie? Okay, I thought it was funny as hell, but it is totally propaganda.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I did laugh at it. I thought Ken was great. I thought Margot Robbie was a great casting. I thought the whole guitar singing on the beach thing was a hilarious meme. So it's not that I didn't. And I did think that the set design was brilliant. Like, the Barbie world was amazing in terms of how it looked. And I liked all the energy around it. I liked people dressing up and all that. But the film itself, the subject matter, the story is about a suicidal Barbie, a suicidal girl who's playing with the Barbie, and her suicidal mother. And I'm like, I'm depressed. I don't want to watch this.
It's like The Scarlet Letter, my favorite. My favorite book in school.
Well, hold on. I know there's one movie that Maji saw that made her depressed, and I had to give her a virtual hug because it was that bad. Maji, please regale us with Mutant Mayhem, if you will.
Oh, Mutant Mayhem was terrible. Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Teenage Mutant.
Oh.
That one was Soulless.
That's right. That came out last year. You know, there was so much shit last year. Shite. There was so much shite that we tend to forget about a lot of it. Just stuff just goes to the back of the brain and go, oh, that did come out. Oh, that was way
Ninja Turtles.
worse on my list.
I was in a theater packed full of kids. I went and saw Mario. I went and saw Mario movie. When that movie ended, the kids were all excited. They were talking about Mario goes pew pew. You know, like they were being little kids, just vamped up and excited. They just watched a really fun movie, right?
Son and I just watched that last night.
Ninja Turtles, when it ended, it was quiet. Like, everybody just left. And I was sitting there like, this is soulless. This literally numbs the soul. Like, the kids weren't excited. There was nothing going on about that movie.
The only movie I watched in the theaters last year was fucking Godzilla -1.
I don't think I watched any movie in the theaters last year.
I think
Kyson12 has joined us. Kyson, if I'm saying your name correctly, welcome. I think you're a new name. I don't remember seeing you before. He says, Happy New Year. I'm here.
Yay.
Happy New Year. I'm new here.
Here, I'll give my best book. My best book for the best graphic novel I read this year was Fiendish 1 and 2.
Oh, the best?
Yes, the best.
So didn't Dungeons and Dragons come out last year?
Yeah, it came out in February.
But there's 2 of them: Dungeons and Dragons, and I think Guardians of the Galaxy came out last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were
was
okay.
She-Hulk last year?
Yep.
Yes, Puss in Boots was last year. That was on my top 10 list.
Yeah, that was supposed to be really good.
It was really
I don't know. I did not enjoy that movie.
Otter. Was there not enough furry stuff in there for you, or what? What was it?
I was
Which
bored.
movie?
The Last
Adam.
Wish.
No, Black Adam.
Oh, I thought you were
Did
talking about
Black
The
Adam
Last
come out
Wish.
last year?
Yeah, I agree.
Not-
Black Adam
no,
was
not-
mid.
Was it the last year? I thought it was the year
It
before
was the
that.
year before last was Black
Yeah.
Adam. I think.
Nah.
Yeah, that was an awful.
I think the saddest one for me was the Wish, Disney's Wish.
Oh, I knew that would be bad, dude. It was so bad.
I skipped that one. I was like, I can't. I've done too much.
Did-
Too much damage to my
Mon-
psyche.
Mon-
Well,
when-
I watched the Ninja Turtles. I watched the Dial of Density, and then I went and watched.
Amazing.
Then I went and watched the Wish one. The Wish one was just sad because they had so much member berries the way Disney used to be, and you're watching it and you're like, what the hell happened?
Now,
And
I
then
never
worse-
watched this. No,
Worse, you don't know why the bad guy is a bad guy.
now, Manji, when you were watching it, did Jim Morrison come out of the corner and start singing, "This is the end"?
It felt like it. But okay, so when the bad guy escalated into the bad guy, you're like, how is he a bad guy? He can't physically make everybody's wishes come true. And he has
Also,
to be
yeah, wasn't he
selective.
like just doing his best?
He was doing his best, and some of them were so vague. He's like, I can't grant this because how do I know it's not going to be dangerous for the kingdom? How are we going to know because it's just too vague? How am I
Yeah,
going to know
Marty-
that's
Marty,
not going
but
to
he
lead
was-
to the
he was-
rebellion?
He was pushing the patriarchy, you know.
But she made him to be the bad
Clearly.
guy, and then slowly throughout the movie, he stepped off the edge, trying to figure out how to stop somebody from threatening his kingdom, and he went crazy and went into forbidden magic. But for him to be the bad guy, he didn't actually do anything wrong.
Yeah. He's
Now-
a man, and that's a problem.
Now,
That's
hold on.
exactly it. But this is Disney. It was
Yeah,
just
well,
sad and depressing.
Maggie, you don't understand. Everybody needs to indulge their every single fantasy in order for us to have world peace.
Otherwise,
No,
you're
no, no,
racist,
no.
sexist, homophobic, xenophobic.
You know, I am a
Rapists. Don't forget
I'm a
that.
capitalist. I am a total capitalist, but I am willing to admit that to a certain extent, consumer culture, unmoored from like a morality or a common purpose as a society, results in a kind of constant narcissism. Life is about getting things. Life is about getting all the things I deserve, and it's like that is why Disney is so morally bankrupt, because it's so full of people who think this way. And I think another problem, and it's not even totally a woke issue, but like one of the reasons why every villain now is a closeted hero and they're so the morality is inverted. Like I hated Maleficent. I hated it because I love the original Maleficent character from the film.
Oh, she was
Beauty.
terrifying in the OG film. Yeah.
But they have to make every villain a hero now. Why are they doing this? Well, I think it's because they are copying the phenomenon that was Wicked years ago, which is a great novel and a great play about how the Wicked Witch of the West had this kind of sympathetic backstory. She's not quite the villain you thought she was. Now, that was in the hands of a writer that had a vision, and it was something kind of great. But I think what's happened is Disney has utterly copied that trope into every single one of their villains now. Every villain is like Captain Hook in the Peter Pan and Wendy movie.
They're not evil, they're just misunderstood.
Dude, in the Peter Pan and Wendy movie, the story of Captain Hook was that in childhood he was a lost boy, and because he wanted his mommy and he left Neverland and it pissed off Peter Pan cut his hand off. I'm like, this is evil.
Can we just go back to Hook when he was just crazy?
I know. That's the point.
Gentlemen,
The problem is, I
way
love
more
a
fun.
good redemption arc. I really
Well,
do, but
I
they're
think
getting them all
part of
so
it-
wrong.
I think part of it was Loki from Fetch, not the Marvels, Avengers. But I can't, sorry, saying it wrong. But I think part of it was Loki was such a fan favorite because he was a sympathetic character that it solidified. All right, that's what we got to do all the time. But then
I
they
don't think it
turned
was-
around and killed Loki.
I don't
by
think it was
adding the
Loki. I
show.
think it was the reception for Thanos.
No, this has been coming for
It's been planned.
for a long time. They've been
Now-
doing trying to turn villains sympathetic for decades, and it's just
But-
getting to it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, sorry,
In-
hold on real quick. Evelyn, you're not allowed to talk about movies anymore, man. I love you, but you're not allowed to tell me your movie opinions anymore. They're so bad. Why?
Top two? What's top two? I'm missing. Is that
top? He means Top Gun 2 was decent, but I could have done without the beginning and middle of the movie. He also hates what was it? Tombstone. He says it's a terrible movie.
Okay, Evelyn, what's your favorite Western? I need a baseline here.
He doesn't watch movies, and when he does, he hates almost all of them. Even the
Hold up, his favorite Western is what is it? Wild Wild West.
Yeah, that's right. Tombstone, trash. Wild Wild West, masterpiece. 10 out of 10.
Both are shit. Both are shit. You know for a fact Deadwood is 10 out of 10 gold.
Oh, he corrects it. Josie Wales. Okay. That's a good offering. I retract
really
my
like
previous
Outlaw
statement.
Josie
All right,
Wales.
yeah, I respect that. Josie Whale. Okay, fair
For
enough.
me,
And in that case, the captain will allow the opinion that Tombstone sucks.
For me, it's a tie between Tombstone, top Western. It's either Tombstone or For a Few Dollars More. Those movies are goated. They're so good.
Oh, you know for a fact, Unforgiven.
Pale Rider's great.
I love
You
Pale
guys
Rider.
know for a fact that Unforgiven is the perfect Western movie ever made.
Stormfront, you read my mind. That's exactly my favorite Western is Unforgiven.
We need to have a podcast, me and you, dude. Fist pump from my side of the woods, man. Just total fist pump.
Unforgiven is a tremendous movie.
Dude,
But it's very much a deconstruction of the genre, and I like the genre, so it's not...
You know what, Kahuna? Like, here's the thing, though, about Unforgiven. It doesn't work without all that came before it. Like, it is a meditation on the entire genre. So it's not even fair to say, like, if it had come out before all the John Wayne movies and all the Clint Eastwood early ones, well, then it wouldn't be what it is.
It wouldn't have worked, yeah.
Yeah, in a way, he is the end stage of life of all those characters that came before him, of the Pale Rider character, the John Wayne
Man with No Name, yeah.
Yes.
If there was a finale for the Western genre, it's Unforgiven.
For sure, yeah.
The finale of the Western genre was Bone Tomahawk. And oh, what an ending it was.
I've heard good things about that.
I need to see it. Wasn't that Kurt Russell?
Yeah, it's a great movie, but you
know
will not
what,
forget certain scenes.
Wrangler, what we should do?
What's that?
Try to find a trailer for Missouri Breaks and show it to everyone. That one
We
looks
should.
good.
Also, you could share the Western image I just sent on the Gilded too.
Emily, a real man? Seriously?
I told you, you cannot listen to his movie opinions. They're all bad. He's a great musician, a great guy, but we can't talk about movies.
Evelyn, I can just tell you would hate my favorite movies. You would hate all my favorite movies.
He hates Indiana Jones now as well.
The original, the OG Indiana Jones.
Evelyn, you can't get through Unforgiven. Get ready to join me for 4 hours of Gettysburg. Come on, let's do it.
I actually like Gods and Generals more than Gettysburg.
You're gonna get a slap.
We'll have a talk about that someday.
I really like Emily. Think about Titanic. I gotta know.
You're gonna get your ass beat by the Stormcrow. How dare you not respect Unforgiven?
Oh, okay, like Indiana Jones.
No, because he went on a full rant of, when he found out like the true implications of Indiana Jones and what's her name from the first one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Kuna, do you have access to the official trailer for Missouri Breaks?
I can find it. Also, Garrett, in the meantime, this is an image I had commissioned recently for a comic idea. It's a fun little thing I was working on.
What kind of story is? I mean, it's a great image. What kind of story?
This is concept art for now, but it's a comic concept that I've had for a while, and it started off as a meme, and I talked it through with a couple of people in my own life, and then I developed a kind of loose story. It's very episodic. Basically, it's a character who, when he yells "woo" loud enough, he can transform certain aspects about himself and become who he needs to be to deal with the situation. And obviously, there's limitations, but it gives the story gives me the ability to kind of
wait. So we know where this is leading to, right?
I don't know. It depends on what sick thing you have in your head, Billy Bob.
Well, brothels did exist.
That image is not an old. It's not a antique, or it's not from a pure older time. It's from a modern time. He went a little bit far with some of the outfits, but
so is this supposed to be set in like the Old West or like an Old West style fantasy world, or kind of what?
Nope. This is there are some fantasy elements, but it's our world. All of the buildings are based off of reference pictures I took on a motorcycle trip I was on. Nice. And so it's meant to be modern, but in a place where time kind of stopped. That's why it looks the way it looks.
That looks awesome, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I have a kaiju version of the character coming from a certain friend of the channel here soon. Let's see.
Nice. You know, interesting question, Captain. I want to ask you, what is your honest thoughts on the concept of deconstruction? And to you, what is like the best example and the worst example of that?
I don't know. I'm not define deconstruction for me.
Deconstruction is something like Unforgiven. It examines the genre and it deconstructs it to make a story. And in my opinion, Unforgiven is like the go-to for like Western deconstruction, along with like Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. And
Logan is a version of that for superheroes.
Yeah,
that too.
I
don't know if you're right then.
Deconstruction.
I think it depends on kind of where your heart is as a creative. You know, if your heart is, I want to like explore, I want to get into this story and explore it from another angle, explore it from a place that it hasn't been explored from. I think that's a noble ambition as an artist. You know, so I guess Unforgiven obviously is an example of that. Like, what if we examine what is the real cost of violence in this context of a Western? Because in a Western, violence is sort of glorified. And Unforgiven is a story that is about a man who has led a violent life, but he's terrified of death. And now he's being beckoned back to it. And so in that sense, you're getting inside the Western character, but you're exploring him from another angle that takes the consequences of that seriously. Now, I think that's a good goal. I think the antithesis, though, is like Rian Johnson, who does The Last Jedi. And his idea of a deconstruction.
All right, we got to kick him. He's bringing it up. Triggering.
Okay, I wasn't trying to like drop a bomb. I'm trying to answer the question.
Garrett, The Last Jedi is my most hated film of all time.
Well, here's the thing.
Wait, I blacked out. What's going on? What's going on?
Okay, maybe I went too hot on that. All I'm saying is the point is, in that case, the motivation is for him to glorify himself as a creative, and that's how I see it. And that I think is the wrong
also
attitude.
to ruin people's childhood.
It's a different kind of deconstruction, a much more malicious kind.
I think there's another less malevolent but equally misguided reason, and you could interpret it as being one of that guy's motivations, which is he just simply finds the tropes boring. You know, the classic trope of a Golden Fleece story about Luke stopping the Death Star is boring to him. And so he views it as, how can I make this interesting to me? And it's like, but you shouldn't have done that with something where it wasn't yours to do that. You know,
it's a deconstruction akin to ramming your car into a brick wall.
Yeah, but that one was pretty much
deconstructed.
It wasn't even like, oh, he's bored of the tropes. So like, hey, let me take like one of the best characters from the original trilogy, who literally went out of his way to convince his father, you know, to go away from the dark side too. Oh, my nephew has a little bit of dark side. Let me stand over his bed.
I had a nightmare, so I'm going to kill my nephew in his freaking sleep.
I would say a Song of Ice and Fire is kind of a deconstruction of the fantasy genre.
Oh yeah,
of specifically Tolkienite kind of.
Yeah, because it's saying like, what if
Cahoon Guilty has a question.
Oh, I answered him, but no, this is concept art for a comic storyline that I've been developing. I'm getting concept art from different artists to depict different scenes. My idea is to have this ongoing story where each comic is done by a different artist with a different style, and with someone overseeing all of the art to kind of make sure that it blends well together when it's all said and done. And so this is a storyline of kind of the Western-like character. I told the artist, I was pretty loose. I gave him some reference images and said kind of what I want him to have. The gun in his hand for a sharp individual is the same gun on the front cover of Brian McCoppin's book, Record of the Paladins. And
Demon Beavers.
Yeah, I told him I want this character to be the epitome of 10 foot tall and bulletproof. An old Western novel kind of term that you'd see thrown around here and again. But yeah, no, that's where that came from, and so that's the concept art for that. There's going to be a kaiju version of this character, kind of like think of like a large Titan from Attack on Titan kind of character, and so that'll be a fun one too.
Gonna walk around naked without genitalia?
No, genitals included. And they are substantial. Did I tell you I have 2 wigs? Anyway.
Are they substantial?
Raven Nevermore says Happy New Year.
Let's
Happy
watch
New
that
Year.
trailer before I get another image.
Yeah, I did send you that trailer, Wrangler, so we could watch it. So, Captain Garrett, this is a trailer for a modern Western film being developed by a friend of the channel and a friend of the Iron Age named Jared Christman. And
completely independent. Him and his buddies making it together.
It looks really good, and this is very raw still, but
roll tape.
I mean, they're making the music and everything themselves.
Whoop. Is that too loud?
Nope, full screen.
No, it's fine.
I want to ruin my eardrums.
I'm curious, Bill. How did Missouri lawman end up all the way out here?
Back in '62, I rode with Grant and we went through Memphis on our way to Vicksburg. I remember thinking, Memphis is a nice town if it wasn't on fire. I don't mind going back there. After the war, I moved home to Missouri and some damn fool talked me into being a lawman. I didn't see that coming, but I was good at it. Wearing a badge and cracking heads. I don't know. I just had an itch, man. Just felt like there was something I was missing. Something else I wanted to do. So I came out here.
How'd you get to running with Shooter then?
I met Shooter in Chattanooga. In lieu of a court martial, he was on disciplinary leave. People didn't like Shooter, but we always got along pretty good.
I'm digging the music.
Sooner or later, every man's got to make a choice. On the back end of that choice is where a man finds out what he's made of.
I will say also he has shared a lot of exclusives with the Gilded for a Drink with Crazy, and
Nice.
every time we see something more, it gets me that much more excited for it.
Yeah, it's the cinematography is looking good. I like it. It's looking looking pretty good.
Nice reference, King Bob.
I'm excited for this movie. Sorry, I thought you
I was
might
loving
want
the
to.
music in that because it just put me in that same mindset for Firefly.
Well, he's got
Yeah.
the full trailer already released. I think what it started was the music videos for the album, and then just evolved into a full movie.
Well, the trailer is not. He shared it with us, but the full trailer, it's not on his YouTube. So
Where are
if
they
it is
filming
posted, Idaho mostly,
Yeah,
that
it's
part of the
looking
world. Yep, it's a very different setting than you see most westerns as well. It looks very like if I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have known exactly where they were. But I've pretty much been exactly where they're filming that.